Hello and welcome to SAP Learning Academy and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial today I will be telling you what is code pushdown method in SAP HANA. This topic and this subject is very important for all the technical and non-technical consultant who is working on SAP HANA. So let me tell you that before going directly into this code pushdown method, I think it is important to know something about this SAP HANA because everything is all about this SAP HANA database. So we should learn a little bit of SAP HANA, what is this, and then we will move into this, what is code pushdown methods. So let me tell you that if I tell you the history of SAP HANA, the SAP HANA primarily came as one of the replacement database. We have been using different kind of databases in our projects, like if I talk about Oracle or MySQL, DB2, but now SAP has provided a new kinds of in-memory database. So what is this? It's an in-memory database, meaning that you have a lot of ROM now. So data will be stored in the ROM instead of RAM because it's a in-memory concept. So once you have a lot of RAM in your place, it means that your parallel processing can be faster, meaning that your read operation can be faster. Suppose you have replaced any old database, like if I talk about DB2 or MySQL, and you have replaced with SAP HANA in that. So what's going to happen? The changes will be that whatever the read operation you are going to do, that will be always faster because your CPU can now handle multiple processing due to this more RAM into the system. So that's actually the main part of what is about SAP HANA. That's why actually every company, every analytics company is using the SAP HANA as their primary database because the data reading is faster, and also SAP HANA provides this OLTP as well, meaning that transactional data. That's what the S4HANA comes in. Okay, that we will not move into the S4HANA. We will talk about this code pushdown method. So now in my picture, you have two figures. One is the SAP HANA, the other one is this SAP ABAP. Okay, that's the SAP ABAP, and the other one is the SAP HANA. So those who are aware of these systems, and it is very important that what we do in SAP ABAP and what we do in SAP HANA. And in SAP ABAP, what we do, all kind of SAP GUI is based on SAP ABAP. The front end is mostly made on SAP ABAP system framework. If I talk about these SAP BI or SAP, if we talk about SAP EWM or any kinds of SAP systems, mostly are relevant with SAP ABAP framework. So what you do here, so when there was no HANA system, suppose there was some other system, if I just write down here, suppose you have MySQL. So you have a MySQL database which is not in memory, and you have another interface. This is the another interface, that is SAP ABAP, and here all the database is stored, all the data is stored. Suppose you are going to write a code, a simple select statement you are going to write, and in that case, so let me also show you with the example for your understanding. I believe it's getting interested for all the viewers, so please comment below if you don't like or like. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do, so we are going to write some select statement. Select, suppose I'm writing star from, you have a table name, suppose ABC, and this table is based on this database either here, and if you're using HANA, it's here. So this statement is written in the ABAP framework, and how the data comes, there's an interface between these two, there's a connection made between these two systems, and you're actually getting this data. And in that case what happens, because since your database is different, now if I talk about HANA, then it will be faster. Okay, let's leave about it. Now we will talk about MySQL. So what happens, your processing will be slow because you are reading some data, you are reading the data and which is not in memory. Because if you compare, if you are reading from a ROM, because the data is stored in the hard disks and you are reading from there, so it is found out that if you read from in-memory database, because the read operation is faster in SAP HANA, because obviously you are going to give some kind of where clause here. So where the year is suppose 2020, and in that case, so it is going to hit the year whatever the tables you have given. So it is going to just quickly search the year will be in the column and it will find the data. But in the case of MySQL, what's going to happen, since it is not in memory, then it is going to search every years and every row, and when the year comes then it will find the year 2020, then it shows the data. Okay, that's all about this reading capabilities in SAP HANA. So my point is here is that code push down. So how we are going to do this code push down? Since when you are using the SAP HANA, so we need to know some of the techniques how we are going to best utilize this database. Instead of just storing and reading, we need to learn what are the ways, what are the codes that we are going to change so that we can use this system fully enough to optimize our codes in terms of faster processing and faster results. First thing that you should do, the first change should be that if you don't need all the fields of a table. Suppose if I talk about fields table ABC and you don't need all the fields, then you must write the selected fields those you need in your selection. That is the first point that everybody should remember. Suppose you can write here A, comma B, comma C. So that's what you need to know. And also in earlier versions, when SAP HANA was not there, we no need to give comma. But now if you're having SAP HANA as database, you must write comma in between these fields. So first point is that you need to select those fields actually you want. Second point, you must use the keyword for all entries, corresponding of all entries. So you should use this keyword, because using this keyword, if you are doing a loop, if you are doing some kind of a select statement and comparing with the other table, then you must use this keyword for all entries. So using that, you can definitely search more about this, but using this keyword actually you can correlate between these two tables and find the table much faster. And third point is that you have an option to use multiple joins. Suppose you have three tables, if I talk about, and you do not want to write the three select statement. In that case, because this three select statement can be costlier in terms of processing, so what you can do, this ABAP framework provides this option to write this SQL, and that is called this Open SQL. So you need to know about this. What is this Open SQL meaning? So if Open SQL meaning that it is when your one system is actually connecting or having some kind of intersections with another table, then one you need this Open SQL. And if I talk about what is this native SQL, native SQL is just when you are writing the SQL on the same DB. Suppose if you're writing a structured query language on SAP HANA database, then it will be called as SAP native SQL. But if you're writing a different server, different framework, and reading the data from another database, that will be called as OpenSQL. So the OpenSQL optimization of OpenSQL is important in case of push down, as I told about the select statement. And very important thing about code push down is uh, the change in the loop. Like when you do the kind of looping in the system, you should not just fetch all kinds of data that you need. You must do the selective data. Then only you can best utilize your SAP HANA database. And a few more things like those are new in the market. Those are like CDS views. Those are mostly used in S4 HANA. And what is this? It is also kind of a extraction logic that you can write in the ABAP framework, and it's going to call the data from your HANA DB. And few more things like we have AMDP. So what is AMDP? So AMDP is it is also a kind of extraction logic that you can write, into the SAP HANA, that you can write completely in SAP HANA using this SQL script. So once you write this SQL script, you can then call this SQL script in your ABAP layer, and you can model further, you can create further report or something. So in case of, you can do two kinds of top down and top up approach, bottom up approach. If I talk about this top down approach, this native OpenSQL works, CDS view works. But on the other hand, if I talk about this bottom up approach, if you are using this SAP HANA, then you can go with this AMDP, because using this AMDP, you are actually writing this SQL script into your SAP HANA database. Then you are actually calling this SAP SQL script, this AMDP, into this ABAP framework. So that all the calculations will be done into this system, in HANA system, and it will be just the result will be fetched into your ABAP system. That's the way you can optimize your code. So that's why the AMDP is more favorable, and yes, no doubt CDS view also favorable since it is widely used in S4 HANA. So I hope you have got some knowledge from me about all these theories and all this little bit of knowledge, technical knowledge that I have given to you. And if you have really liked my tutorial, you can like a hit button, and if you don't like, also that's your choice, you can dislike. And don't forget to ask questions, because if you have any kind of question, any sort of questions about this code push down or SAP ABAP, HANA or MySQL, whatever it is, so write it in the below comment box. I will be happy to answer. And if you have any recommendation, what kind of videos you need, or any questions or suggestions you have, write it in the below comment box. I will be answering those. And thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe our channel, and also look into other tutorials. I've given the links in the below description. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.